media world. Don't waste the magic.
Awesome. So welcome everybody to Off the Record Airtable Secrets and Lore. We're a group of Airtable users who are exploring new ways to use Airtable to optimize our businesses and lives. Open to hearing from anyone about your experience, good or bad, using Airtable to make a positive impact in the world. We attempt to promote people coming from any level to share your ideas or ask questions. We also share our experiences, tips, and practices and offer ways to get help and get involved in the community. We meet every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. And after the conference, will probably be every other Wednesday. So to kick things off, though, we're going to be going through Airtable news. And I know, Chris, we have some updates about the Airtable conference. So let's start with the conference updates. And then I know we have the CSV Importer app and Glide apps, as I'm pretty sure the two new things that we haven't covered yet.
Okay. I am moving the news to the last tab now that we're doing it in that order. I don't want to... I wanted to have these things ready. Rebecca, we have Glide ready.
Sure, yeah, I just pulled it up.
Cool. So this is for conference updates.
Wait. What's behind Kuvan? You got a new background.
No, it's the same background. It's just that
it looks.
I took off the piece of fabric over it.
That looks so good.
So wait a minute. The fabric was covering a whiteboard?
No, that's what everyone thought in this list. It's actually a mirror. And I don't want everyone to see the huge, horrible reflection with mirrors, but it does look like a very nice whiteboard now, doesn't it?
I thought it looked like a whiteboard, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks great. I don't know why it was ever covered up.
Because it's not a whiteboard.
Okay, sorry for interrupting. I had to
how feng shui. So conference update. So we are, not far from the conference, probably 7-9 days, so it's coming right up on us. Sold another ticket today, so that's always exciting when they kind of randomly come in from nowhere. A couple updates on the conference to get people going, because so many things. I could send out so many emails, but you guys know I spend way too much time. We've had updates to the session that our friend Julian is doing on TikTok. He's put in his new takeaways and actually has some exciting new content he shared with us, so that's going to be really cool. We actually had a major update from our session by Mikey McLaughlin. So he's come in here and talked about all the things he's going to do about how they use Airtable to help with actual manufacturing. So making the good stuff we all love to eat. That's kind of amazing. Our friend Gideon, thank you, is going to be talking. He updated his recently. He did some changes. He's not going in so much of the media stuff, but more into the workflows. So if you're into workflow and workflow management, that's going to be pretty amazing. And then probably most importantly, I'm sad to say that Alec from Airtable, who was going to be keynoting day 2, is not going to be keynoting now. He's had a health issue come up and they'll be sending someone out. So I'm still betting on Howie. It is not too late. Everyone chant with me, grab your crystals, hold your crystals and your chakras and summon Howie.
And the ancestor candle.
And the ancestor candle, Howie. Okay. So I will let people know when we know who's coming. But I've been told it is someone else from Airtable. So that is exciting.
I'm hoping for Jordan. I really wanted to be Jordan.
Jordan is coming.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, no. There's a contingency from Airtable coming. It's basically they haven't been meeting in their office. So this conference will be the first time that a lot of them have been together.
Wow.
Oh.
Right?
Will
so
Aaron be there?
So it's a cool excuse for them to get together too.
Right?
I just want to give Jordan a big hug for all of the mean community comments.
Yeah. I think a lot of people could use a big hug for that mean community comments. All right, next up, you guys ready for update number 2? So update, I feel like I know more than other people know, but I think it's because I'm managing and I'm not keeping track. Update number 2, we have an Eventbrite. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not really an update, but we were told we needed one because apparently now that we're too close to people to be flying it was there. So if you're friends of our community, share the Eventbrite, share. Let's get some local folks there. Update number 3, as we mentioned last week, we had updates to our housing and our housing assistance. We have a new housing option If you are coming into town, besides Expedia, we have another hotel now. Here you can see. So if you don't have a hotel yet, not too late. Update 4, we have new sponsors galore. So welcome Zapier to the conference as an official sponsor. They will be sending good stuff and supporting us. And I've got more exciting news coming about Zapier very soon, but they're officially a sponsor now. New sponsor, Pro Backup. This was really an interesting sponsor. If you have an Airtable and you just need it backed up regularly, they do it. All your data, all your attachments. Don't worry about losing your Airtable ever again. You know, credit card doesn't go through, you lose your base, they got you. So Pro Backup, and they do a lot more than that. So if you've got more than Airtable, they will back you up. So thank you, Pro Backup, for your sponsorship. And then one that you guys might not have seen coming, Merch Tender. So Merch Tender is actually a cannabis. So no, we're not. No, we are not smoking cannabis at their table. But Merch Tender, back to Merch Tender, to make sure people don't, it's not that type of party. So Merch Tender actually is this great organization that has a complete cannabis merchandising system that allows you to create merch on the fly if you're a cannabis company. They're branching out into other things beyond cannabis for merchandising, but their whole system is run on Airtable.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I told them, I said, you guys should have spoke. But what's great about Merch Tender is not only are they a sponsor, one of our new sponsors, but they hooked us up with this merchandise.
Nice.
So we have one of the most popular posts I've ever had on LinkedIn with 2,800 people loving this. We have new official merch for the conference. So the merch is super simple. Go to daretable.com/merch. You can get a Daretable shirt. What's great about the shirt is if you get the shirt, they're keeping people off of spreadsheets. See what we did there? But all the speakers' names are on the back, kind of like a tour shirt. If you're speaking, obviously you would want one of these, but if you're just coming and you want to remember the day, we've got that. But maybe you're not coming to the conference and you just want something because it's kind of cool to have something that looks like a drug shirt from the 80s. This one does not have the back, and it's great to wear to work to get people to know more about Airtable and say, hey, get off that spreadsheet. So pretty cool stuff in the merch department. Okay, are you ready for the next big announcement?
Hey, hold on. On the merch, do we need to order it off of the website, or will they have stuff available on site?
We're trying to get it there on site. I'm telling people to, in your speaker email you'll get, I'm telling people to order it so you at least get one. We did a limited run. It won't, I would like it to be there. I just don't know if it will make it in time.
Okay, so it might not be able to even be picked up at the day, or we'll see.
I'm telling people order it and have it shipped to your house to be safe.
Okay.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
that would
telling
be
people.
the best route.
That's all. I ordered, you can think I'm crazy. I ordered 3 t-shirts, one for me, one for my spouse, and one extra just to have, and I ordered 1 hoodie. I love the hoodie. Give me a big black hoodie with Dare on it any day. The next announcement is something we've teased, but it's official now. We will be sending out the RSVP to our happy hour on Friday night. We can have 100 of you in our Dare Table celebration over at Caroline's in Austin, Texas. So I will send out the link for this. We're doing it to ticket holders first. And if we have room, we will allow anyone from the community who just might happen to be in Texas to come and hang out and have drinks with us Friday night. So come get your drink on. And then the last announcement is something that we have been working hard on. And I mean, we've been working hard on everything, but this one is almost taking the life out of me. Now, we've gotten a lot of feedback from people who said, I can't afford $200 or $250 or whatever. And that's fine. I understand it. It's expensive. But seriously, 2 days worth of meals is $250. Like, so the meals pay for it. Even if you don't do it at the conference, just eat our food. But one thing that people have been asking for time and time again that we have just did not know how we were going to do, we finally have done. And we're announcing it today. At the conference, all the keynotes will be live streamed.
Nice.
So even if you're not at the conference and you're just a member of the community, you will be able to watch the event. Now, we're working with a live stream partner who wants to charge, but I'm trying to keep the keynotes free. The keynotes free. Well, let's be honest, that's just more me. And the sessions like Kuvan, because you should pay to see Kuvan. I think that's you should pay for her. But I'll keep you posted if we can actually stream all the sessions. That would be my goal. But guys, Ben will tell you, I'm aging fast on this conference. Ben, am I aging fast?
Faster than you could imagine.
All right.
Years have gone by.
That's it. That's all the conference updates I have. Any thoughts, Rebecca, Kavan, Ben?
That's awesome that you're able to get part of, at least even part of it streamed. That's really great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for working on that.
I'm stoked for the shirts.
Right?
Yeah.
Great brand.
The shirts look great. And I'm like, first thing I do when I see my name in print, I'm like, yes, they spelled my name right.
I'm sure it was triple checked.
Oh man, it was. The only thing we got called out for was we didn't originally have the Airtable logo actually on the t-shirt. But we fixed that. The Airtable logo's on. They're the platinum sponsor. They should be on the t-shirt. So that's good. All right. News. I don't know what you guys have for news. I know I wanted to preview two things. The first thing is, I know everybody, we used to talk about this all the time on the show. The what's new page, they're still updating it because most people, if you're like me, you do the jingle now, the what's new in 2. Does anybody watch what's new in 2?
Oh yeah.
I got a new host.
Yeah, I know the voice is gone. I almost said something, but if he's not there for a reason I don't know, I didn't want to say anything. Yes, but it's a different voice. But what's really nice is if you go to the old school version of this, they show you things that they don't talk about in what's new. It's like, I did not know there was a new iOS app. I don't know. Did you guys know this?
I just saw where it told me to update.
Right, it's a new iOS app, new Android app. And sometimes Android gets features like the hide, download, share buttons. Like sometimes they get features we don't. Expanded records. Now we've all talked about this, but it's nice to see what those updates are. I guess, do you guys have feedback on their new view? I know there was a lot of consternation when they first redesigned this. Feedback?
I absolutely love it now. I was never, ever, ever an expanded view user before, or, using the old kind of broken expanded view, and I can't get out of it now. The only comment I have is maybe a little bit more kind of white space reduction in between each field, but that's nitpicking at this point. I mean, I always want to see more data on the page. So it could be 2 pixels wide and I would say make it 1. So.
Ben.
I just want to say is, Airtable designers, I had faith in you. I knew you could do it. I've seen them do this time and again, where when they really get together, they come up with amazing, beautiful designs. I just wish that they could get that energy and creativity into creating these designs before there's an outrage over, wait a minute, people don't like it. But I think once again, Airtable's proven that they have some great UX, UI designers out there. They just need to use them all the time.
What are the main differences in this versus what it was like a week ago?
They actually list them on here.
Yeah. So our icons are back. The main thing is the icons are back so you can see the field types. And the other things is they don't have that start typing here placeholder text, except for the primary field. So on the primary field, they still prompt you to enter something. And if it's a formula field that's blank, it still shows the little dash indicating that it's blank. But everything else now, if it's supposed to be blank and they're not supposed to type on it, they don't have text saying, please type on it. And it's also more clear what is editable versus not editable without having to hover over it.
Makes sense.
I was a big one for these larger gutters. I'm a big one because I love space. That was a really big deal to me. And the read-only fields was a big deal. I still have majority of my tables have read-only primary fields. So like, it still sometimes confuses me, I'll be honest with you. I still don't think it's clear enough because sometimes all the data doesn't get put there till I fill out the form. because it creates that big concatenated field. So I don't know. I wish it would just like block it out or put coming soon like a marquee, but it is what it is. I'm glad everyone liked it.
Is your first one a formula field for your primary field?
Always.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not filled in yet, just change your formula field to say when it's not filled in, give it instructions to fill in stuff.
Oh, that's a smart idea. See, that's why you're Kuvan.
This is why I write formulas.
This is why you are the formula writer. And of course, the pre-filled, all that other kind of stuff. So that's all we have, I think, for Airtable stuff. Although I did want to ask, have I been missing Aaron? Because I have not seen an Aaron video in some time.
I don't know. I'm worried we got him in trouble or something.
I think he said he was moving or something. I went to his Facebook page, or I'm like friends with him or something, and I got a notification that he was in transit, possibly.
Facebook tells you that?
He told Facebook that.
Okay, because we are 2 months from a tooltips or table talk. Is this? Wait a minute. This is not tape. This is tooltips. When's our last?
The last tabletop was number 15. That there with the one with Peter Day.
Okay, so we're only 1 month. Okay, it's
Chris,
not too
do
bad.
you also remember though? Last week, I think it was, we were looking around and we saw something where he was with Connor Finlayson. I don't know how to say his last name. And it's like code meets nocode.com.
Yeah, so
project that he's building together.
He does. Does anyone know his Twitter name?
I would imagine it's probably under automate all the things.
Yeah, so he does have a brand new, how do you spell his last name?
Korenblit. Kornblit, I think.
Let's see if I can find him. I'm gonna find him. Oh, yes, if you go to his Twitter, he does have a brand new project where he has a new website where they're selling, I think, Airtable classes.
Yeah.
I don't want to get this wrong. I better find it. Jump up to the new update from the new software company. I'll try to find what he's got going on.
So Glide Apps.
Glide Apps.
Well, do we want to talk
pick
about
Glide Apps.
CSV Import or?
I would love it. I heard about it. I have not seen it.
So,
it's basically CSV Importer, but on the top of the table.
Yeah, I can bring one in. Let me hide the important stuff here.
Kuan, have you used the new CSV Import to the table?
I have not used it. Most of what I do is build, so I'm not usually updating a lot of things. One thing I did notice is that all of my free legacy-based workspaces now have a little tag on it that say legacy plan.
I saw that as well.
Oh,
so I think that is very helpful in making it clear what is in free versus what is not. And what's
maybe
new.
I'm just in an old window.
I noticed that my pro plans do not say pro legacy on them, but I also don't have a new pro, so I don't know if that could be the reason why.
I've had many clients like get prompts while we're on Zoom calls to upgrade to the new pro plan. Like they're on the legacy pro plan and they're like, it has these benefits. Like it's a pop-up.
Sneaky.
What benefit does the new pro plan have over the legacy pro?
It doesn't.
I just know that we've been on Zoom calls and they've gotten pop-ups, which I think is, I told them I was not a fan of it at all. Is this the CSV that's too big?
It probably is going to be, yes. So now you
but that's only 7,000 some files records.
Yeah, this CSV was actually okay. This was a day it rained. We only had a few GPS points, but usually I have about 15 to 25,000 on any given day. And that's what I was doing whenever it told me that my CSV was too big.
It's an interesting like floating box over to the left.
Yeah.
It just seems interestingly placed.
We get a lot of those. I don't understand why it's not in line, but whatever. Looks like there's a few other little options.
So this is if they're limiting the apps and they're slowly just baking the apps into the UI. Like this takes, for example, I have like a few different CSV import apps that would technically take up the 10 app limit on a pro plan, but now we don't need those. So it's interesting how they keep like taking the apps and putting them into the UI.
I noticed too that I've had a lot of problems with the CSV import app itself the last couple days. So I don't know. It kind of seems like there's some sort of big infrastructure change going on in the apps marketplace.
Don't you love how you're basically becoming Neo and you can feel changes in the matrix? I'm being serious. You all know what I'm talking about.
Is it Neo or is it hypervigilance from trauma?
Well, I always say you're the only person I know who's got product development PTSD. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think there's something going on too, but I always tell people it's a good feeling. Whatever it goes real slow or there seems like there's literally outages, that means good stuff's coming.
Sure, not fun while it's happening.
No, not fun at all. I got all the Aaron updates. Did you guys cover the CSV import while I was over there?
We did.
Yeah,
We did not get to glide apps, but we can do that.
Got it. Well, let's jump back to Aaron for you. So I've got bigger news with Aaron. First off,
he's 6'4".
Did you know he's 6'4"?
No way.
It says right here. So
That's pretty tall.
He's like, I tell him all the time, he looks sun-kissed. He said it's good lighting, but I swear he's got like amazing.
He's
amazing.
Literally closer to the sun.
Yeah, he looks, well, there you go. He looks, but it looks like he's moved to New York or he's moving here.
Oh, it's from Twitter.
Oh, wow.
So maybe that's going on if you're in New York. Here's here. So looks like that just happened. So Aaron, if you're in New York, we're looking for you. But the thing that he launched was this thing. So, and this was back in February. It's thought if your team is using no-code tools for internal workflows, you want to level up less third-party tools with code. I want your whole team to do code meets no code. So it actually is a new offering he's doing with this person. Does anybody know this guy?
Connor Finlayson.
Just from Automate All the Things. He's done a series with them, yeah.
He has a pretty successful YouTube channel.
Oh, there you go.
Like Webflow.
That's probably why he's there. So now they have a membership that's $300 a year where you can come here. And I love the fact that he and Connor both have given their endorsements for their own offering. So I don't know if that's what's going on, but I think that's what it looks like to me. But if you're into the stuff, remember the last time Aaron built something and sold it was his Automate All the Things tutorials, and he ended up getting acquired by Airtable. So get in now for 100, what is this for? 199, $299 a year before it all goes. Kuban, I think you could be script meets no script. If he's code meets no code.
There you go.
And Kuban, are you going to show up to the conference and actually be 6'4"?
No, I'm significantly shorter than that. I'm about 1.5 feet shorter than that.
Because we have
I
never
don't even hit 5 feet.
We have never seen you and Aaron in the same place at the same time.
You may never actually be able to do that because he's going to be so much taller than I am.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's get to this, the apps update. Who's got it pulled up on their site? Because this is pretty exciting. I did watch the video they made about it.
I do.
Oh, while someone's bringing it up, I did a quick check. You know, before the CSV import was only available as an app, so you had to be on a pro. Well, now with the import, you can actually do that directly in a free plan. So you have basically that ability, even if you don't use that app. Nice. And if even if you're on a legacy free, you could that import CSV works.
That's
Hold on.
Interesting.
Stop the screen for a second, Rebecca. We'll come back here in a minute.
That's kind of big.
I have a prediction. I think, because Ben, you said something. I said this last year, but you said something again. Everyone, have you noticed that apps are moving from apps into product? Ben, you said it just a minute ago last year. I said, why are the apps becoming views? because of the change in the licensing, they almost have to move certain apps out of apps. Chart. We need to go look at all the apps by Airtable and create a prediction on when they actually get merged in the product.
I need Page Designer now.
Okay.
Or just
Well,
lighting-
except everybody needs a new page design.
I didn't
because-
want to do it, but we are lighting the ancestor candle. It's gone too long. We have to fix this. We are officially, I don't have my candle. Sorry,
A few of
Rebecca,
these
I'll
are
light it
like
for you.
timeline. What I think is interesting is like all the apps that I feel like are taken out have ended up being only for pro plans. But CSV Import is one where it's not only for pro.
Even legacy free can now do a CSV import.
Hmm.
But some of them are never going to probably, like some of the little ones I think were more like test cases, like JSON editor or the flashcard app, or a lot of these, like the little ones. I mean, as much as I really think Chime is cute, I don't know if it's ever gonna, if it's just gonna disappear into the distance.
Well, we should just have notification functionality.
I wonder if someday they make the apps like a legacy feature. Like similar
I think
to
it
how-
needs to go away because I'm even with a 49-inch monitor, I don't keep that drawer open.
I think
I
one
think-
thing that they
Still have
need,
to-
that they do need to figure out is for the entire ecosystem is they do have the third-party apps now. What happens with that?
Well, and like people rely on some of that functionality. There's some of even Kavan's apps that I use on a daily basis. So if that's now all of a sudden no longer a thing and you're not filling the holes that these things were built to fill, then we have a problem. But we're getting speculative here.
Basically, I think I don't think apps are going to just disappear completely because there's too many other useful things going on, especially with the idea of third-party people can build some things. And also people like enterprise people building their own custom tools. So until they solve that, I don't think the apps is going to go away completely, but I definitely see them migrating away from it into either native views or into things like interfaces.
So with
Interface.
that,
I think they're going to end up in interfaces.
yeah.
Because if I think about how all, again, I use interfaces all the time now, but like, look at what a 49-inch monitor looks like. All right, so this is like, Rebecca, how you've got do you have a 49? How
I
big is
have
yours?
2 34s.
Yeah, so I mean, this is, you get a lot of real estate, but even then, I'm not going to waste this by opening up apps. It's too much, too much. And look how long they're taking to load. What's up with that?
Chris, you and I are so different because every base I have, the apps drawer is open. The only time the apps is not open is when automations are open because I'm trying to configure an automation. It's just different workflows.
It is.
For me, I can't have like the view section open if I'm actually doing something or the apps open because I like need the whole real estate to see multiple fields.
Well, and
Yep.
new collaborators get so overwhelmed when they just walk into a base and everything's open and they have no clue what they're looking at on either side of things. And I've had people who were finally like, okay, let's do some training, let's learn a little bit. And then they get in there and everything's right there in their face. And
like
I
all
can just
popped open.
see them shut down. Like you see the lights power down and you're just like, oh, okay, we're not getting anything else done.
Yeah, it's like they've added all of this getting started information of how to use Airtable, but it's too overwhelming. It's too much all at once. You know, it's like so I've seen this happen where it's like, okay, the first thing to do is you just get rid of all of these things and let's just look at that table, that grid that looks like a spreadsheet that you're familiar with.
Even I
And then
get
we'll
overwhelmed.
slowly add all these other things.
Like when I open up when I create a new table and there's already 4 fields that I have to delete instantly before the client's like, what are those 4 fields for? Like, no, don't look here. Wait, close your eyes for a second. Let me right click and delete because you can't delete multiple fields at a time, even though you can hide them. So I'm like, right click, delete, right click, delete, right click, delete.
I'm just so thankful. I don't know. One of my favorite updates they've done in the past, I don't know how long, is to be able to hide multiple fields at once. I can't tell you how often I use that thing.
That's
Yeah.
been super nice.
Well,
And you
yeah.
can also do things like set
Mhm.
permissions on multiple fields at once.
And
And-
moving them.
and move them around.
Moving them
Okay,
around.
we've
Oh my
been
God.
teasing Glide for like
Yeah,
10
so let's get
minutes.
into Glide. Glide is exciting. Their video is good. Now, Rebecca, do you know how to share and play the video? Because it's the video is actually really hot. It's only 2 minutes.
You may have to share with audio.
Yeah, there's an option to share with audio.
Yeah, okay. Share computer sound.
This morning I showed a customer Stacker and they were just ecstatic at the functionality that it gave them. They reminded me of like when I first found some of the tools. They were just like smiling ear to ear. But I'm excited to see what Glide has.
To build beautiful and simple apps on top of Google Sheets because it's a data source that many people know and love. Today, though, we're making it possible to build mobile apps and web applications on top of Airtable, one of our most highly requested data sources. Let's take a look. Suppose we're running a conference and we're organizing it all in Airtable. This space is our main repository of information, where the admins and event planners can see and organize everything they need. Ideally, people on the ground at the conference would have access to this data, but giving 100 or more people access to this base is obviously not practical and definitely not a good experience on mobile. With Glide, we can use this data to power small, purpose-built apps for different conference needs. For example, we could build a mobile app for attendees, a simple check-in page for the front desk, and a portal where vendors can update their information. So let's take a look at the actual finished versions of these now. This is the Attendees app. As new talks get added in Airtable, they sync to the app where attendees can favorite them and build their own schedule. This is the check-in page, which allows people to check in on a computer at the front desk without letting them access any other data. And this is the vendors page, which allows vendors to see details about their slot, space, and other essential info. All of this stays in sync. As attendees change their profiles or check in at the front desk, the changes sync back to Airtable and between the apps. These are just some of the apps that you could dream up for a scenario like this, and it would be very easy to build more. So that's a quick look at Airtable, a new data source for Glide. Give it a try and join us in the community and let us know what data sources you'd like to see next.
So was Glide originally not primarily for Airtable?
Oh,
So
so
like
it's
they're-
basic.
Sound like it.
To me, Glide was always the no-code maker for actual apps.
Like mobile apps, like on
Yeah,
your
like
iPhone?
making your own stuff. And then again, it had a back end, and apparently you used to be able to kind of use Airtable with the API in the background, but this apparently is more looks cookie cutter.
Chris,
What I think is well, hold on, let me show you one thing. What I think is really interesting about Glide is they basically have two different apps. And I think this bodes well for the future of Airtable. Now, bear with me because you guys know me and my predictions. The first one, they have Glide Pages. That looks to me a lot like Interface Designer.
Yeah,
Right?
Camille mentioned that it was pretty new, how did she word it?
Right. So she tells you it's great for portals, and I know in dashboards. So again, we've had Camille and Kavan, the official coders, tell us there's a difference between portals and dashboards and directories. So again, it's really cool. To me, this feels very Pori-ish. But then they also have Glide apps, which I don't know, but I think are actual native apps, like native iPhone Airtable. I'm sorry, iPhone and Google apps. I'm not sure though. It could just be like a really good version. So if anyone knows, let us know. Do you guys know
Chris,
if Glide apps
I
are
would-
actual apps?
I
My
have
guess
no
is that they're
idea.
progressive web apps.
That's what I thought too. That's what I think, Kavan. What are you saying, Ben?
I was gonna say if they are like, if you could potentially get this from the iPhone App Store, I would love to see like a product out there that we could, or that you could create, or we could create, where it would connect to your health data and then send your Apple Health data to the app. Like if that app could read it every day and just send it straight into your Airtable, since it is Airtable.
Yeah.
That would solve my age-old issue that I still don't know how to do.
I don't know. I think it's exciting. I thought the video is well done. it doesn't look, Kavan, I think you're right. It doesn't look, but Kavan, to that point, why do they have an app section, an app product, if they have a pages product? And pages is already progressive. You know what I mean? Unless it's sometimes some features that are
part of it. It has some features where, you know, like how your interactions on mobile are typically going to be different from what they are, that how you're going to lay things out on the screen. And it's just a different way of thinking about it.
I completely agree with you, but they make it almost look like in pages that these progressive apps scale down to be mobile friendly. Now, maybe you're right. Maybe it's much more of a user experience thing when you're using apps versus, but this looks pretty much.
What is a progressive web app for those who may not know?
Do you want to define it? You want me to?
Go ahead.
So basically a web app is just, you know, a native app is one that uses all the sensors. I always try to tell people, especially a lot of people like don't know the difference. So native apps are smart. They know where they are. They know when they are. They can read from the phone's other things like the gyroscope or the health data, stuff like that. A native progressive app or just a web app doesn't have the ability to do that. So it looks like an app on your phone, but it's basically just a glorified web page. The original iPhone didn't have apps. They were just glorified web pages that they were built, you know, specific. I mean, if you ever used m.facebook.com, you know that we used to have a whole routine just for separate sets of web pages. Progressive web apps basically are dynamically changing pages that can go from a full view to a tablet to a mobile phone, and then every size of mobile phone. So progressive meaning they're kind of dynamic in nature, and web, the data is coming from the web. So there's always will be a debate between native apps versus progressive web apps. Right now in Europe, Apple's being sued, or that has been successfully sued, that you have to be able to sideload apps, which will put a lot of this, you know, debate to rest. But to me, if I had my choice, I'd want native apps all the time. But kind of like everything else, it's a black art. You know, to get an iOS mobile, you know, developer is pricey. You know, it's really expensive. I've built a few of them, so we'll have to wait. Does that help make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Camille mentioned Glide Pages is still in its infancy, so maybe that's more of a beta product.
Wait, so Camille's chatting with us?
No, she had said that in the Facebook group in the comments.
Okay, but even more interesting about Glide is let's look at their pricing. So if you notice, their pricing, and this is why I started with the products, is based on apps or pages, which again, if you think about Airtable, I think Airtable's interface designer ends up looking a lot more like this, because this licensing model would make a lot of sense at Airtable.
It does make a lot of sense.
If you got rid of
$2 extra per user.
Right?
And you get 20 users included.
Yeah, so if we got rid of everything about Airtable licensing now, this model would fit if interface designer was the front. But of course, once you get into the apps, it gets a little bit more expensive. And again, I think the real value for all these things is always the custom domain, right? So because having something .glide, and you know, even if you could get around the branding and everything, but this is interesting. Again, I think if you look at JotForm apps, you look at Glide now, you look at the complete ecosystem around Airtable, right? The stackers, the softers, the Pories. There's someone else mentioned two of them the other day online. I'm thinking we almost need a directory for all these things.
We need a Pori directory for all the front ends.
It's kind of a big deal. I would almost say there's going to be an interesting race between a company like Glide and Airtable itself. Because in some ways, Glide is doing things in the no-code space that I think Airtable would like to be doing natively, but they'll never have that kind of easy adoption, right? There aren't people just creating quick Glide apps for their chess club like they are in enterprises now. So there's a thing coming. I think there's a thing coming.
Supposed to kind of be the point of the Baez or Baez acquisition?
Well, I thought that was just for charts and graphs.
And I thought that was more of a talent acquisition rather than a product acquisition.
Okay.
But what I'm waiting for is when it's going to eventually be, and it'll probably be only an enterprise only feature, when you can share an interface without sharing the base. Airtable has said that it's on their roadmap. When that happens, all these other third parties, what's going to differentiate them? All these other front ends.
I'm excited for that.
But all we know is that they're interested in plan on eventually. For all we know, it's not going to happen for several years yet. We don't know. We know that they're working on some of the things, the underlying architecture that they have to get done.
But again,
when will actually happen? Who knows?
I always just go back to be realistic. Like, it's not, I know everyone wants these features, but like, we're not alone. If you're in an enterprise, you want these features too. Right. So I still swear it'll be this year. I said last year we'd have a full-on system by the end of this year. I said we'd have double records, I think, I think I've got till June, because I said last summer, I said within a year. I have to go back and look at our do we have our predictions, Ben?
Yeah, it's in the club.
I don't think it'll double. I think it'll half.
What? They're going to cut our records down?
I do.
They're going to cut record limits?
I mean, obviously I don't want that to happen, but that seems to be kind of the trend of where we're going with pricing sorts.
I think
upgrade to the new Pro so that you can have fewer features.
I mean, they would have to do another legacy deal, but I can't imagine them trying to make more people angry in their community.
I think it would be really, really hard for them to cut record limits, because right now they're already soft limits.
Base. Ben, I can't find our base. What do we call it? The one where we put our predictions?
We called it Clubhouse.
Thank you. God, it's that long ago. Back when we did audio shows. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I have to throw a create date in here so we know when.
It was April 7th. So basically the conference.
We are coming up on the predictions. So we've got some predictions in here. We have, Camille said double the record limit, but she didn't say by when.
Well, these were 12-month predictions.
They were 12-month predictions?
Well, everybody gave 12 months other than you. You're more specific.
Why do you have 2 created times?
I don't know.
Like 3 created time fields.
I don't know. I think I just did that by accident. So we've got, Camille's got some time to go. Ashley said Zapier plus Instagram TV, she would like that. That's coming. I said 12 months from April. I said double the record count. Oh shoot, mine. Oh, space limits. Ooh, bidirectional sync. I know for a fact that's coming, by the way. Should I not say that out loud?
We'll just.
I know. Hope I just didn't give away something. I've heard from official channels this is happening. Still no overhaul in Universe, but I've got another 9 days. Ugh. I was right about the investment.
You were right.
Okay, we still have, so I don't know. I've got, come on Airtable, if you're watching, we have.
Peter mentioned something about the Universe. Peter dang on the.
He did. Everyone talks about Universe. It's like the stepchild. I love Universe.
Anything around interfaces?
I can go back and check. I don't think we would have known what to call it then. The first person, someone said end user interfaces within a year. That was Felicity Evans. Felicity, if you still watch, you won.
Hey, who's that? Come back, tell us more.
Yeah, robust reporting features to update page designer. Oh, poor Chuck. Okay. At least with the last set of updates, minor really jump. Okay. This is not really much this is not even production. I don't know what this is. Alexander, no. Jan, Airtable's API will stay the same or get worse. Well, Jan, that's not nice. Jan needs the ancestor candle. Here's Jan again, maybe a different Jan. I don't know. Particular APIs won't have a sync. Okay, so Jan is not happy with the API. I think we've got Jan. If you're here, we know you're not happy now.
Chris,
yeah.
I put in chat. I put a formula. Could you just create that?
Sure. Right now?
Yeah.
Are you gonna charge me for this?
I want to see if I typed it right.
Okay, if you're gonna charge me for this, I don't want to do it because I know the minute I paste it, I'm charged.
I wish it worked like that.
So I don't know what that. Oh, this is how long it's been.
How long it's been? How long is from there? So
Okay,
it does certain rounding.
It's doing a lot of rounding. Okay. What else do we got? Okay, so again, we got touchscreen features. Do we have that? I know the app has been updated a bunch, so that might be true, Stefan. More expensive. That's true. I mean, technically. And a new entry-level plan. I mean, kinda, because it got the new entry. Okay, Stefan might be from the Stefan, whoever you are, you're from the future. Get on the show. Okay, unlimited records. Okay, Muhammad here is he's living in a fantasy. Include JSON object field type. No, we don't have JSON yet as a field type. And API record what?
It said you have to use a long text field as a JSON field type.
Yeah. Signature capture. That's not there yet. Those are all mine. I got a couple. I still got time. Zapier, Instagram TV, and then Camille. Maybe at the conference we should do some more predictions. 12 months from the conference.
We should just have a fishbowl.
I feel like I'm living in one. That's why I need the ancestor candle.
Did you actually?
Should I bring the ancestor candle to the conference and light it at the conference?
Have you ever lit it? No.
The ancestor candle? I'm not gonna you just don't like the ancestor candle. No. You need feathers. You need crystals. You need actual magic potion or scripts. You need a specific tin tarot card, like the ancestor candle. And then you need the mantra. I won't let anyone see that. But when I do, you'll be the first to know. I do light the success candle every day. As you can see, the success candle gets burned often. I usually, when I'm talking to clients or working on something and I don't want to blow up on Ben, which you can tell I'm really burning that wick at both ends. And I recently got this thing. This is magnificent. This is shungite. It for getting rid of magnetic forces, like Wi-Fi, absorbs Wi-Fi and electromagnetic radiations. Good stuff. Very heavy. We're off the rails, by the way.
We derailed, definitely.
Yeah. Wait, can I do one more magical thing?
Yeah.
So I got 3 candles for Christmas, and you let each candle burn. The first one's your past, the second one's your present, and the last one's your future. And it gives you metal tarot cards, 3 of them, gold. You want to see what it gave me for my past, present, and future? Get ready, because if you know anything about tarot, these are crazy. My past was judgment. Like, so unreal. I was like, yep, that's my whole life. My present, the death card. Which is basically just, don't freak out, it just means change. Rebecca knows all that stuff.
Prisons.
Yes, and my future, this one blew my mind. The Hanged Man.
Wow.
Right? Rebecca, I mean, he's enlightenment, patience, kind of a new view, a new worldview, because he's hanging upside down, so he has a new view of things. You can see there's a glowing orb around his head, so he now understands things. Most people are like, oh, that looks scary. It's actually, it's not. It's like death. People think it's a bad card. It's not. Should I do tarot readings at the conference?
You should do your iPhone palmistry.
Oh my God, I have a sign for it. I'll show you. Hold on. I literally have a sign. I have a whole booth. But
It's gonna be quite the chore for you to get it there.
the booth?
That
Sign.
Well, the booth. Right.
Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
But I usually sit in like a whole booth. We ship out, and then I'll do it. I'm doing it in Napa Valley in May at a conference. I'm doing the keynote, and then I'm in a booth doing phone readings. Okay. Hot. We are really off the rails.
there any other Airtable news or any cool projects anyone wants to share? I know Chris is moving.
Yes, my contract in my house is signed. It's as of today.
Congrats. That's
Thank you,
awesome.
Thank you.
So Aaron and Chris will now be in New York.
Right. Do you guys want to see a picture of the new house?
Yes.
It's right out of, get ready, it's right out of a horror movie. Boom!
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep, it's by a famous architect. It's on the side of a mountain. Right behind it, there's a little river. It's in a little teeny town, and it's the only Victorian in town. Stands about 3 stories. It's just an amazing looking place. And what I love about it is I've seen pictures of it in the summer, the summer, the winter, and the fall, and it's just beautiful. Again, in Texas, for those of you who don't know, we don't have a whole lot of seasons. Seasons is not our thing here, but it just, I'm really excited. For me, you know, being able to get up there to upstate New York in the mountains where there's just a lot of nature, it's just a dream come true. I'm very affected by weather. I like it a little bit cooler, and this will really help us kind of get that. And a town of 600 people, so pretty small, you know.
600?
600 people in the whole town.
Small town.
Right. So I'm
So 602, 603.
Well, if you count our animals, yeah, that many. Here's what the house looks like in the summer. So it's just gorgeous.
Oh, wow. It's like a totally different place.
Oh yeah. Well, the season again. Now imagine this with the fall, the green, the leaves.
Oh,
and
that's
then
going to be
spring
gorgeous.
Yeah. So again, it's got all these great windows, and of course we have all this like smart lighting and stuff. So the house is just like kind of glow on the side of the mountain. I am so excited.
So is
It's
this
Oh,
going to be a beautiful merge of historical Victorian with new age tech.
Right, that was kind of the thing, right? Because if you guys don't know, I've got like a lot of crazy stuff on my house, so it's going to be pretty witchy.
So is this a slacks and blazers conference, or is this an Airtable t-shirts and jeans conference?
I will be in shorts.
All right, good deal.
I will be in shorts and a hoodie. You'll be lucky if you see me covered up. No, it ain't that type of conference. Well, Ben, I didn't ask you. It's just your conference too.
I did not plan on wearing my suit, so no, it will be jeans and a shirt.
I think it's a come as you are, as who you are kind of conference.
Sounds good.
At least that's how I was planning.
Yeah, absolutely.
So next week we have our last off the record on Wednesday then, before the conference.
Yep, last
We
one.
will still continue afterwards, but last one before the conference.
Yes. And hopefully we don't have any more announcements. The announcements are a lot. But I think it's going to be fun because it'll be good to see everyone. I don't know. I'm looking forward to some of these sessions. I think they're going to be over the top.
They are going to be.
I actually got called for jury duty that week, and I was like, no. I couldn't find the reschedule link, and I was like, no. Then I got this webpage that said some appointments can't be rescheduled, and I said, no. And then I found an email, and I emailed them, and the person said, yes, we can put you off, and we can reschedule you for a week later.
Oh my God. It's funny. There is a lady coming from, and I'm sorry, I call everyone lady. It's just my age and the way I was brought up. There's a lady coming from New Orleans, lovely, who wanted to speak. And she said, because we had a bunch of people who've applied to speak, but like, for free tickets and stuff. But we're full up. But she said she would do a backup. I'm like, okay, please come. I'll give you a free ticket if you'll agree to be, because I do have a backup if for something happens. But I want you to come on.
I want to be able to tell people how I think about creating a formula.
Right. And that's the thing.
This is what goes on in my brain when I'm thinking about a formula.
Don't tell people what you know. Tell them how you think about it. Plus, this will be your second conference of mine that you've spoken at.
Yes, it is.
I know. Oh, it's very good. Rebecca,
I know, I'm trying to find the shorts I want to say that I'm like, how can I condense this all? Because like I was like writing it all, and I'm like, okay, I've got about 7 hours here.
Rebecca, why aren't you speaking? I told Ben, I thought for sure you'd speak.
I write slide decks for speeches. I do not do the speeches.
Okay. I think you'd be a good speech maker.
I am a good speech writer.
I'm sorry, speech giver, I should say.
Maybe next year I'll
Next year.
get the bravies up and go do it, but
Okay.
seems like y'all have quite the outfit of talent there.
Yeah, I can't. Ben is giving a session. I mean, come on, people. The hard part is going to be, seriously, if you're not presenting and you're just at the conference, for me, the hard part's going to be like, which session do you go to?
Yeah, I'm already trying to plan out my itinerary for the day.
And we even have a session on Saturday called the Unconference, where we'll have a whiteboard. And you can, if you want to get up and do a 5-minute, show us anything you've created, where anyone can get up and show anything. So I think, Rebecca, you showing some of the cool things you've done. I would love to see you show your little system where you walk around villages, your interactive help system. I can't remember.
Sure.
Topia, I think that would be cool. I just think that's really kind of, I don't know. To me, I'm most excited about that kind of weird stuff.
Oh, they have an API now.
There you go. There you go. Okay. We will see everyone next week for this show, and then see everyone just a couple days after that in Austin, Texas.
Thank you all for coming. We'll see you next week.